Wyatt Sicks debuts. The full lineup for the new faction's been revealed. Plus, another WWE faction broke up last night, it looks like. And a major Money in the Bank title match has been announced. It's all in the Cultaholic wrestling news right now. Forget Raw after Mania. Raw after Scotland. This was a ridiculously busy episode of the Monday Night Wrestling, Adam Majid.
Crazy, so we had a list go live last night. 10 most important episodes of WWE Raw ever. I'm not saying it should have gone on that list, but if that list had been 10 most stacked WWE Raws ever, this could have easily made the cut, because so much happened last night.
Overstuffed ravioli of a Raw that ended with Jey Uso beating Finn Balor and Rey Mysterio in a triple threat to qualify for the Money in the Bank. But that wasn't what we were talking about, as the crowd were yeeting their little hearts out. Boom, lights down. Boom, lights down. Boom, lights down. Boom.
Just like that.
Just like that.
The Wyatt Sicks finally making their debut in WWE. It's not Wyatt Sicks like that, or that. I got to do my Brett WCW thing. Which way is it? It is Wyatt Sicks, like Six. That's how it's spelled. That's what they're going with moving forward. How long has it been that we've been talking about the Wyatt Sicks? When did those teasers start?
I reckon it's been about 80 days.
That's a long time, isn't it?
It's about 80 days, I think. And you know, in an era where we have 5-minute makeovers and 6-second TikToks, 80 days is a long time.
It certainly is.
To capture the imagination. And my imagination wasn't captured for the entire thing.
No, I'm glad that it has happened now. I think the last 30 days have been, because we thought we were getting it at the Saudi pay-per-view, didn't we? And anyway, it's happened, and it was epic. It was the visuals, incredible.
So that piano, that one-note piano all the way through this, we see the doorway that we saw at Extreme Rules back in 2022. Door flings open. First person we see crawling through the fog is Abby the Witch, played just like that, played by Nikki Cross.
Is it The Grudge? What's the fit? It was a bit
The
of
Ring.
The Ring. Yes. Sorry, I haven't seen the Ring.
If you watched Raw long enough, Nikki Cross appeared in your living room and poured you a bucky. So we see her walk up to the lantern, which is now in the middle of the walkway, and she points to the back, and these wonderful one-shot camera scenarios happen where we go to the back, and what do we see as we turn the corner in the entranceway?
Right, so the camera headed just behind the entranceway. It's filled with smoke and broken, bloodied bodies. Standing over a pile of unconscious people was Ramblin' Rabbit, clearly played here by Eric Rowan, brandishing a large hammer with help written on it.
So it's a callback to Ramblin' Rabbit's very consistent fate on Firefly Funhouse, when he would get bashed with a hammer
But also Bludgeon Brothers with the hammer as well. That's what my mind went to as well.
So a bit of column A, a bit of column B. We then go to gorilla position, which has just been ripped to pieces, quite literally. There's lights that are flickering. They've had units pulled out of the wall. More broken bodies. One looks a bit like Braun Strowman, but I don't think it is. I don't think there's only one body that is particularly identified, which we'll get to in a second. In amongst all the detritus and the decay and the fog and the smoke and the even of the gorilla position, we see sat cross-legged on the table Mercy the Buzzard, played by Dexter Loomis.
Nice. And then just behind the exit from Gorilla is Huskus the Pig, played by Joe Gacy.
Tats give that away.
Say again?
Tats give that away if it's Joe Gacy.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You can see his step, and all he's doing is just sort of stood behind Gorilla, like with his hand there, and then we follow the path a little bit further along. A few more broken bodies, and who else do we see, Adam?
It's a man who had a bit of a rough night last night. We'll talk about that a bit in a bit as well. Chad Gable is there, so the more bodies there, and then propped up against this travel case with blood coming out of his noggin. Chad Gable. It was teased over the weekend that one of the first victims of the faction had the initials CG. Chelsea Green is very happy right now.
Corey Graves is doing star jumps. And from there, the camera swoops up, and there we see, and it gets a big pop in the arena. Silhouetted by a light beaming behind him, we see Uncle Howdy, played by Bo Dallas. And from here, Bo Dallas, giving us a little Jack Sparrow type walk as he does so, makes his way back through where we've just come through. This time he's walking towards the camera, and he's picking up the the lads as he goes, and they make their way to the arena where Abby is there by the lantern, and that's the first time we get a shot of them all together.
Very, very cool. You know what? I think visually it's one of the most impressive things WWE have done in recent memory. I thought it was expertly produced. Unfortunately, that's the easy bit, isn't it? And I don't want to be a downer on this at all, because like I loved it last night. I was buzzing about it. I was just so excited. But they've done that. Like, it was always going to look cool. Where do they go from here? The Chad Gable thing is a little bit of a surprise. A man who is getting right now the push of his career. If this furthers something with Chad Gable immediately, does that take him away from the Alpha Academy stuff? Probably not. Maybe that's just a way to get him off TV for a little bit and then come back to it down the line.
You could feasibly have Chad come out next week and go, as soon as those left the Alpha Academy, as soon as all that went down last night, I was unprotected. So I need more back. So you could tie it in potentially with that.
Without them going full force into it. Unfortunately, they can't do that, Tom, because Chad Gable is dead.
That's very true. Rip in peace. I want to run to you, Chad Gable. So we see all of them together. They blow out the lantern. We even get a little jump scare by Abby the Witch as we're all off air. Thanks for that. Cheers. I've got a heart condition. Appreciate that. Jay Uso addressed what happened, speaking with Kathy Kelly on Raw on Raw Talk.
Saying, you saw the ending Raw 2? I don't want no smoke with them. For all I care, they can have the Fireflies back. I want no problem with them, but I'm very happy I did activate Fireflies. Still got to show love to Bray Wyatt. But his family is here now. That means I've got to go. You need to go too, because they're around here somewhere. Did you see the girl? Come on, be very careful, Kathy. Yeet. Of course he had to get in.
Wasting no time, the moment that the Wyatt Sicks debuted on TV, we had merch, which basically, in case they didn't say their name out loud, we didn't get like a Deaf Rebel. They are the Wyatt Sicks. So we didn't know their name until the T-shirt dropped, and then you see Wyatt Sicks, as Adam said, spelled S-I-C-K-S.
It's cool. No, but like if you've got a dog, you go, you sick him, boy. Don't you? Like you can sick somebody to attack.
So it's like a verb. Wyatt Sicks, Chad Gable.
I think that's what they're going for.
Ooh,
maybe.
I hadn't thought of that.
I don't know.
Sick 'em.
I thought it was excellent. I really, really excited. And I think we could sit here for about 20 minutes and talk about booking ideas and where they're going to go and how difficult this might end up being. I'm very, very glad, if reports are to be believed, that they're moving away from the more paranormal side of things, and it's going to be more founded in reality. I think that makes it a little bit easier. But yeah, I'm just excited to see what happens next. It's intriguing.
First chapter is always the easiest to write, and the nice thing is with Triple H's booking, for better or for worse. I know some people, and I'm one of those that have gone, he done half drag out a story sometimes. Like they can sometimes. Sometimes they are perfectly formed. Sometimes they can get a bit long in the tooth. So I'd like to think that something this intricate and this dynamic and this creative has a very clear A, B, C.
They've had time to figure it out, haven't they?
Yeah.
I totally agree. I think the thing with Triple H's booking is, I agree that like we're a moronic generation, aren't we?
We are
We're
well
very
fixed.
short attention span. But the payoff generally has very good. Has been worth it. Like if you do invest your time in what WWE present, then the payoff is generally quite satisfying.
You're rewarded.
You are, yeah. But it can be a bit of a slog from time to time because we're morons.
Here's a payoff though for you, and here's someone who isn't a moron. Otis. It finally happened last night. Alpha Academy seemed to be no more. Gable lost a match to Braun Strowman that began a terrible night for him. He summoned Otis, Tozawa, and Maxine to the ring and just chewed them all out. Maxine tried to stop Chad from slapping Tozawa, and for that, Maxine, who was on a crutch, because obviously she's done her leg in, Chad snatched the crutch from her, threw it out of the ring, and made her hobble to the back. Then Chad slaps Tozawa, and that's it for Otis. Sees red, pushes Chad Gable to the floor, massive pop from the crowd, but we don't see any more than that.
No, didn't beat him up or anything like that. Instead, he leaves along with Tozawa and Maxine. So that essentially brings Alpha Academy to an end. And reportedly, of course, this is going to lead to Chad Gable bringing in the Creeds as a new Alpha Academy / Team Gable, whatever you want to call them.
And I feel like that what happened with him tonight with the Wyatt Sicks will be him next week going, see, you guys left me and I'm now defenseless. I need new people around me, people I can trust. So here come the Creeds.
Yeah, I don't know. I would be tempted to keep him off telly for a few months and then maybe re-debut or return with the Creeds by his side. And there's a few ways that they could play it.
That's a nice shout. As we say goodbye potentially for a while to Chad Gable, we say goodbye potentially for a while to Drew McIntyre as well.
Yeah, coming out last night on Raw to address what went down at Clash at the Castle. We're not going to recap it. Everybody and their dog knows what happened there. But as soon as he started talking, he just stopped and went, I can't do this anymore. Screw this company. I quit. He's gone. Stormed off.
We saw Drew and Triple H chatting in gorilla position moments later, and he's saying that CM Punk has everyone fooled from top to bottom, and he is done, and he walks away. I think this is Drew taking a bit of time off. It was reported over the weekend that Drew's wife had emergency surgery back in the States, so I wouldn't be surprised if maybe this is a bit of a pivot, and it allows Drew to take a bit of a sabbatical to go and be with his wife.
Yeah, Punk said in the presser as well that he wasn't going to be there at Raw, so maybe we're going to get a few weeks without Punk as well. And then we'll just... the story's so hot that I actually don't think in this case you're going to lose anything by just putting on the back foot for 3 or 4 weeks. Just like real life comes first, right? And props to Drew for a total pro. Everything that he's just gone through there with his missus. And just put in a great performance. And he's the bollocks, isn't he?
Yeah, no point messaging him to say we love you because he's deleted his socials as well. He's off. I'm gutted. I miss Drew McIntyre memes already.
Yeah, for sure. He's been killing it on socials.
Yeah, he's been great. We'll miss that already. And as one former champion left, another former champion returned.
Yes, Raw opening with a big surprise return, and they really did keep this under wraps. Well done, WWE. Burn it down. Seth freaking Rollins is back. He declared that, excuse me,
that's what he declared.
He wants his World Heavyweight Championship back and is seemingly out to declare himself for Money in the Bank. But then Damian Priest comes out, interrupts him, and just goes, go on, you can have a match. Go on.
Go on, then.
Yeah, go on.
Just because it's you.
So at Money in the Bank, we got the World Heavyweight Championship on the line. Damian Priest, the champ, defending against the former champ, Seth Rollins. I think this is great. Another person that I want to give massive props to, and I mentioned this yesterday, is Damian Priest, who absolutely killed it at Clash. Following a really nasty spot, obviously. He had us all fooled, but his leg's totally fine, apparently. And what a great match for him to defend and I assume retain against the former champ. The guy that made that belt not feel so much like a secondary belt. Seth put in so much work, and then to have Damien go over there, I think really helps Damien out.
Really bloody does. Really does. A really good episode of Raw, packed to the rafters, overstuffed with good stuff. If you haven't watched it yet, check it out. Loads of good stuff to take from it as well. And for the rest of the wrestling news throughout the day, you can check out Cultaholic.com. Stay safe. Love you. Bye.